Hey everyone, this is Sally with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm so happy that you've joined me today and taking just a little bit out of your day to spend it with me crafting. We are going to be playing with the Thoughtful Octopus stamp set. It is an online exclusive stamp set, and if you are not checking out those online exclusives, you are really missing out. I think those online things are some of the best things that we have to offer. We're also going to be playing with the beautiful Ordinary Life paper, and right now that is my current favorite of the designer series paper that we have. The lilac one looks really beautiful to me. I just don't have that one, at least not yet. I have a fun fold card for you today. It's an easy fun fold card. There's not a lot of fuss about it, so I think you'll like it. And if the octopus set isn't your thing, then just substitute something that you have at home. So let's flip the camera down and get started. I wanted to show you kind of where I started with this project. I got this stamp set quite a while ago and I started playing with it, and I made this, and I love this little fun fold, and I wanted to show it to you. But this was the snippets paper, the snippet squares I think it was called, and it is been discontinued and it's sold out. But this was the card, but I liked the card, so I wanted to remake it using a current paper. But you'll be able to see that you can take any stamp set, any papers, any colors of ink, all of those things to make this card. So if the octopus isn't for you, then don't disregard it. Just take the fold and do it your way. I would love that. So I did the Peaceful Pine here. I think the balloon is Strawberry Slush. But it's just a really simple little fold, and I made my own designer series paper here for the flap because these are all just squares. And I didn't like any of the backs. The backs were solid, or, you know, all one image. But I just decided to make my own paper. So for our project today, I am using the beautiful Ordinary Life paper. I thought this stripe would just be an easy substitute, and it's probably, this paper is becoming my favorite that we currently have in our line. I just love the colors. I don't know what it is. They're bright, but they're muted. It just checks a lot of the boxes for me. And then the Thoughtful Octopus, I just thought it was kind of fun. Has some punny little sayings, had a lot of little extra pieces. And I thought too that my grandson could use some birthday cards for all the birthday parties he gets invited to. And I loved it, but it is not just for children. But like I say, if this isn't for you, then just do the fun fold and you can substitute in anything else, any other stamps or what have you. And then the backs of these papers are black and white, which you can do so many fun things with. I love that. So we are going to do a little stamping and so on. I have all of the measurements for you on my blog, but just to give you a quick idea, this is 9 3/4 inches by 4 1/4, and then it's just scored at 5 1/2. So this backside is a normal card front, or card back in this case, and then just the front is just a tiny bit shorter. So that's where the fun fold piece comes in. I'm just going to move this to the side while we do some stamping. Let's bring in our actual octopus. I have it set up on our stamp positioner tool. I do feel that you are going to need a stamp positioning tool for this particular image. It's large, and I want to tell you, I'm not sure if you can see it, I have a little tear here in my stamp set, or in my octopus. He's still good, but I have to be careful with him. So I'm just telling you to be careful. When it hooks to this, it gets a good adhesion, and I feel it's the same way on the blocks, that it's just a lot of surface, pretty solid surface there in the middle. And so just be a little bit careful with it when you're using it. So I have some magnets and I have some repositionable tape here, my Post-it note tape, and I feel that these magnets aren't as strong as our Stamparatus ones were, and because this has so much surface to it, then it tends to stick, and I don't want it to do that and move it out of place. And I think that I even want to move this down. We want this towards the bottom, but we want to have it centered, and we want to be able to put our balloon up in here. So we have to have it closer to the bottom than the top. So I'm just not sure. Let's maybe move this. No, let's put it here. And then I like it. I love that it's spring-loaded. It's easy for people who have arthritic hands and so on. Children can stamp with this. And so this just picks this up. But see what I mean? It's got a lot of surface area to it. So I'm just going to go back in, make sure this is lined up, and press that Post-it note. And I'm going to move my magnet in a little bit further, if I can, without any of my tentacles hitting it. So it does just take a little quick minute to set it up, but I do like its position now. And so we're going to flip it over. I think today we are going to use Timid Tiger, Lemon Lolly, Flirty Flamingo, and Pool Party. And we're going to start with our Flirty Flamingo. We're going to do our little lighter color in this. And then flip it over, and I can already see that I missed a spot. And I think my ink pad here is, I don't know, I didn't think it was super juicy, but it's kind of looking like it might be. We will find out. But that is the great thing with the stamp positioner tools, that you can go back and fix things as long as you know where you've lined it up and so on. And then let's pick it up and see, we do have a couple little spaces. Let's just, without inking it up, because we don't need it to be darker, we just need the ink that's on the stamp to actually get there. And it can be to do with my surface, it can do with, there might be a little hair, and I think that's the case there. So I am going to ink it up again. There was something you can see that was stuck to my stamp. And I've had our new kitten in the stamp room, and so there have been a lot of cat hair and all kind of things in my stamp room that have been flying about. So that is probably the culprit. There we go. I like that. That's a little darker than I planned, but I still like it, and it's okay. If I didn't love it, I could flip that piece of paper over and do it again. Take this off here and move it out of our way. And we'll just take that removable tape off of there. I think he's very cute. I have some stamps mounted up. I have our balloon, cupcake, our string, and our cupcake bottom. Let's see, I am missing a few. Let me grab a couple other blocks and pull out. We need our little heart, of course. And I didn't put our face out here either. So let me stick him there. And you know, I did not do the little spots on my sample, but I did it on my other sample, so I want to take a minute and show you how I do those as well. I'm just stacking these extra little stamps here until we get done with this part. I just thought this was a fun little detail. Let's see here. I know what I want to do first. I think that will just help me. I think these, I didn't use these at first, but I think they're just a fun little detail. And I'm going to use Timid Tiger. I didn't practice this. We'll just see how it turns out. Good, that kind of turned out how I wanted it to. It's not the largest little speckle stamp, but it is this kind of medium one. I am not a good person at putting stamps on a block and flipping it over. My vision just doesn't do well with that. So we are just going to take this spotted stamp and put the little, I guess they're those little suction-y places on their tentacles. I don't know what they're called though, but I'm sure there is a technical name for that. And I just kind of varied how I put them on the different legs. Some I put closer to the top, some I put closer to the bottom. It just depended on the curvature and how I felt it worked in there. And I just wanted to vary it up a little bit. I thought they were just kind of cute. It's just a fun little detail. I thought it was worth the effort of taking just a minute and stamping it on. Just because I know I will get that Timid Tiger ink all over myself if I don't take a hot minute and clean that off. I think it's just one of those colors that keeps giving. Now we'll bring in, I am using my Memento. The jury is still out for me on the new hybrid ink. I think it's fine for this. If you're just doing basic stamping, it's a great black. I don't love it using my blends. I haven't had the best results, so I'm still practicing, and until I'm comfortable, I'm probably just going to keep using my Memento. There, isn't his little smile cute? I just thought he was so happy. I have just a scrap piece here of this basic white, and I like that side better. The other part of our stamp positioning tool is this little guy, and I love it for sentiments, and you don't have to just use it on with the board. You can use it on its own, and this one says many happy wishes on your birthday. And just so I can turn it, or so I can see better, I'm just going to spin it around this way. And the great thing is you can get it where you want it and then push it down. So I want this pretty tight over to the side and to the bottom, and excuse my hair. At least my roots were covered recently. And then you can just press down and hold it there for a minute. And isn't that just so fun? I love that. And if you want to even practice, sometimes, you know, with these photopolymer stamps, if it doesn't get quite how you want it the first time, I could have just left it there. But, you know, it could have shifted since it's not on the board. But let's just do it on this side too and see which one we like better, because we can. And I might have gotten this one too close to the bottom, but I actually think I like that one better. Or we could just, you know, try this a couple times and just get it to, and we can fix it with our trimmer if we wanted to, which we will probably later. But you could also cut this by hand. Now we have a choice. But I just wanted to do that while I had my Memento out. Move it off to the side. Let's see. I think I want to do my balloon next. I guess I'm not finished with my black. because we are going to be doing our string also. And I just kind of want to look at my example to see how far over I put that, but it really doesn't matter on this side. We're just going to let that get transferred there really good. I like that color too. This stripe is just my most favorite in that package. I think it's so happy, and I've heard so many other demonstrators say that as well, that is their favorite current paper, that they're loving it. And so we're just going to let this go right down through the center, and I apologize. I have to pull that down and get my head in the camera to try and get it lined up. Perfect. Love it. Now I see I have a little bit of, I don't know. I didn't think I pressed too hard, but I could have. If it really bothers me after I dry, I can maybe take my white gel pen and put down through there. But it's probably not going to bother me all that much. So I'll probably just leave it. So we can move this over here. The inside of the card is just your typical 4x5 1/4. And we are going to get out Lemon Lolly. Let's put our little cupcake liner stamp here. Try to get a little straighter. And then our top to our cupcake as well. And I am going to use the Flirty Flamingo for the top for the cake. I could pull in Petal Pink as well. In fact, I am actually going to slide this one back. We're going to go back with that cupcake topper later. And I'm going to bring my heart in. And I'm going to use I'm going to change it. I was going to use this Timid Tiger, but I just don't think that I want to do that. That is just not quite the color that I am envisioning. So we're going to swap it up a little bit. See, I like that we can always change our mind on the fly. You'll never do that, right? My mom always, for some reason, used this like pool party color of cupcake liner. So I think I want to do that with the yellow top. So we're going to bring this back in, and that'll be our top to our cupcakes, and this will be our heart. I think I'm going to like that better. The Timid Tiger, I think, looks really good on the octopus here, but I think it's going to be brighter than what I want for here. And as you can see here on my example, this is what we're going to work on. And that is just right on that 4x5 1/4. That's how easy this is. It's just a matter of spacing it out the way you want. So there we have our cupcake liner. And you can make these as far apart. Ooh, my. Or as close together as you want. And I probably used my Stampin' Pierce mat too when I did this, and I don't have it out here. And we're just making a pattern. There's nothing difficult at all. If I was really coordinated, I wouldn't have to pick up and set down these stamps. But, you know, I'm not. So we're going to go with it. I love that. I think that's super fun. So let me move these out of the way. We can bring in that lemon lolly. I will be doing a video on the hot boiling system. And just so you know that anyone who purchases that, from now, I think it's till the end of the year or in that area. I haven't looked that date up, but they're giving us a free class, anyone, demonstrators, customers, on how to use that new system. They're going to help us get familiar with it. I am enjoying it. It's a lot of fun and it's really pretty. I did not stamp that one the best, but it's going to be fine. Like I say, I'm probably going to give this one to a child anyway. And let's be really honest, they don't spend a lot of time at that age looking at a card. So I'm probably not going to stress about any of that. So let's bring in our pool party. And we're just going to add that. If you've watched me before, you know that when it comes to my liners, I don't know why, I just like to use my seal on that. Pretty much use my glue for everything else. I just feel it makes for a nicer writing surface. And then we have this little strip that I just cut off one of the other pieces of paper. And I did it too long on purpose. But I think that I am just going to put my trimmer in here and trim it to 4 inches. I need to mark my mat of where it's going to stay in the center. I need to put a sticker or something in there. I apologize. That is just one thing. When I get going, then I just don't think about it. I'm into the zone of crafting and maybe not necessarily as in the zone for, photography or videography as I should be. So we're just going to put this, and you can make it be as far up or far away from your design as you want. I just put it a little bit kind of close there along the bottom. So, like I say, this one, I probably centered it a little bit better, but I don't not like it. And I think it's pretty down there, so we're just going to go with that. I also feel the way I do with designer series paper when it's your focal point. I just don't want any glue lines. And we could make it go this way. We can make it go this way. I think I kind of want to, let's try it this way. My other one was diagonal. I put that darker color down on the bottom. I think I like that. And then this will go on the top. And I just think it's happy. And I did put dimensionals on the back to adhere this. I like dimensionals. I do not want any saggy middles on my cards. See, I really want to put some there too, but I'm going to show some restraint. Let's just put this over here. And let's see here. I have my hook available. I might take your pick tool. And I like that because it kind of, I use my other one too. My regular pointy tool, on there. But these kind of collect better on here. They don't come off. And so, especially with the new kitten, he doesn't get a hold of them and want to eat them. So that is a good thing. We're just going to take this and center it here. Oh, I think he's so cute and so happy. Let's see here, and let's bring in our trimmer. But you could use your scissors too, whatever your preference is. Let's try this one and see if it's too close, if I can get the top close enough. Don't want to cut any of my lettering, obviously. And I need to get it past that other one. So I always try to kind of line up my letters with whatever side I'm cutting on with that. And I always try to keep a flat edge toward the top. Many happy wishes on your birthday. And just not sure that's 100% straight. I'm going to do that. And it probably still isn't straight, but it is a little bit closer. And I put the other one clear on like this. It overlapped onto that a little bit. But let's try even just switching that up a little bit. That's the fun thing with crafting, is trying new things, new ways, and seeing what you like, what you don't like. That will help you grow your creativity, is when you try new things. I don't want to put it so far that I feel like it would need a dimensional under there. Then we obviously would like it to be, my font to be straight. Try to get that little, I like that. I like that a lot. Now I have an array of dots is what it's called. And they have some lemon lolly gems in there. And so I am just going to put them the same way that I put the other ones on. These are a little thicker. Let's see. Let's do one here, which I think is the same way I ended up doing it on the other. But here, this is version 1 and version 2. I like them both. One could be more for a male, one could be more for a female. It really isn't anything. There are no hard and fast rules on that. But I just liked how the inside was just super easy. And like I say, this one is centered up above a little bit better. But I like them both. And you're not going to be giving the same card to two different people. Maybe twins, little twins. But I think that they're just happy and fun. I love the little smile on our octopus. So I have a couple other samples to show you. Here is this one. And this is one of the greetings I like. You octopi my thoughts. And sending lots of love. I will tell you, I should have done this a little bit differently. I should have stamped one of these octopus in a sticky note or some masking paper and put over here before I blended my blue on here. But I don't dislike it. I think especially with the dots on there, there's a lot going on. It just kind of looks like it's under the water. But probably if I were going to do it again, I would suggest that you do that. If you were going to be sponging or using your blending brush, any of your coloring tools to color in water, just because if you mix two colors of ink, you're going to get a different color. So that's what is going on here. But I don't dislike it. I thought it was kind of fun. And you could use that card for all types of occasions. Just that you're thinking of someone. And then the last one I did was another little fun fold. It's just a little diamondy fun fold. Maybe we'll have to do this on a video someday. It just says many thanks. And so you just flip it over. And it says, if I could hug you with 8 arms, I would. Because that was a really long sentiment that would have fit across probably 2 of these panels. I just cut it out and put it down here and then left this one blank for writing my message here. But I thought this one was super cute too, and then it just folds flat for mailing. So there's this one, this one, and our card from today. So I hope you enjoyed that little fun fold and our happy little octopus, and I hope that you have a great day. And I thank you so much for joining me and spending some of your day with me. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.